What is so secret that YouTube and Google, they want to keep you down? They don't want you to know the Bible, and they definitely don't want you to know this. So what is this secret? Well, where did the giants come from? Hey, it's Rachel. Today on Crack Your Bible, we are doing the overview for Genesis 10. Now, I've already gone through the entire chapter. We've already talked about all of the crazy things that happen in Genesis 10, which is the story of everybody who came from Noah. And then there's a small aside about this guy named Nimrod. Now, you might know him as Gilgamesh, but the Bible just refers to him as Nimrod, which means the rebel. So, before we get started on that, make sure you do subscribe, hit the bell, because Google and YouTube, they don't want you to know the gospel, so they want you to jump through 10,000 hoops to be able to get notifications that, hey, here's the gospel, and there's a new video up on Crack Your Bible. So, press subscribe, hit the little bell, then there's going to be these like little parentheses that you have to click again. It's ridiculous. Like, they don't even want you to know the gospel.
They want you unhappy, they want to finish you, they want you to lose. So what we gonna do is be the greatest ever.
What is so secret that YouTube and Google, they want to keep you down? They don't want you to know the Bible, and they definitely don't want you to know this. So what is this secret? Well, where did the giants come from? Why do we have people overseas picking up antiquities over in the Middle East? Why do we have ISIS blowing things up even though they're 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years old? Things are getting a little shifty. So what is it that they don't want you to know? Well, it all goes back to Genesis 10, because you might look at Genesis 10 and say, oh, this is just a genealogy. Who cares? Whatever. No, but it's not just a genealogy, because first of all, you have to have a genealogy so that if anybody comes up and they're like, hey, I'm the Messiah, you're like, okay, let's look through your lineage to see if you are the one that was foretold about in the Bible. Because from the jump, we knew from the beginning, the creation of the world, Jesus was there. Now, we've talked about Jesus in Genesis before. All throughout the Bible, he's the one in the garden, all sorts of stuff. I will let you check out those playlists up here. But if you want to make sure that the Messiah is who he says he is, he needs to have a genealogy that matches up with God's promises. And God said that the Messiah would come through Shem. So Genesis 10 spells out this lineage. So we need to make sure that this guy over here isn't just some crazy person comes out of the woodwork like, oh, I'm the Messiah, I'm Jesus. Oh, really? You're Jesus? Okay. Really? So this is how we make sure that Jesus is who he says he is. We see that he does come from the line of Shem. And that goes back to a further promise in the garden that the seed of woman would crush the head of the serpent, and the serpent would bruise his heel. So that's why we have a genealogy in Genesis 5, and it's why we have a genealogy in Genesis 10. But not only that, people wanted to know, like, okay, where did these people come from? Where did this crew roll up from? So we have the genealogies of all of the different people groups that existed at the time of the writing of Genesis 10. So when Moses is writing down everything from Genesis 10, we know that these people groups existed at that time, so he's telling people where they came from. Okay, this group went to this place and to that place, and they are all descended from either Ham, Shem, or Japheth. But all of a sudden, partway through Genesis 10, when he's going through the line of Ham, now you remember Ham, right? We've already talked about that in the Noah playlist, Genesis 6, 7, 8, 9. Right up here, check that out. You have to check it out. It is the craziest story. You do not want to make your baby's room Noah's Ark theme. Like, that story is super dark. Murder, sex, demons, rape, crime, all sorts of stuff. Like, Noah's Ark is not a child's story. But anyway, they get off the ark, and what happens? God blesses everybody. He says that now they can be fruitful, multiply. They're going to be able to stop being vegan. They can eat meat now. And what does Ham do? He rapes his mom, or his stepmom, Noah's wife, and that produces Canaan. Now, obviously, that does not sit well with Noah. I don't know who that would sit well with other than like Harvey Weinstein. I don't know. But he curses Canaan, and that is where we see that the Gentiles and Jews will come together. There's a prophetic word that the Jews and Gentiles will all live together one day, and then the Canaanites, the descendants of Canaan, basically they will have to serve the Jews and the Gentiles because he comes from an unnatural pairing. So one of these descendants of Ham, not Canaan, was a man named Nimrod. Now you might know him actually as Gilgamesh, because remember, these things are all taking place simultaneously, and when people want to like cut ties with their family, they change their names. So we have Gilgamesh, or Nimrod as the Bible calls him, because Nimrod is just a nickname. It just means the rebel. And he goes to war against God, and he gets into some really shifty, weird stuff. He is communing with demons, communing with Nephilim, and some people are like, where did the giants come from after the flood? We see David and Goliath. Goliath was a giant. The rephaim were giants. We see that the Israelites, when they go into the land of Canaan, the spies, they walk in and they come out with grapes that take 2 men to carry one bunch of grapes. Like, there's giants in the land. Where did these giants come from? Well, it all goes back to Nimrod, or Gilgamesh, because here's the thing. Outside of the Bible, we have the story of Gilgamesh, and from the Bible, we know that Nimrod, or Gilgamesh, was somebody who hunted men. He was evil in the sight of God, and he said that he was a mighty hunter in defiance of the Lord. So he did these things in defiance of God, not for God's glory. But that might seem really weird to you. You got to understand the story of Gilgamesh, though, because this is where we understand that, hey, remember there was a flood, right? And we know that all flesh had become corrupted, and that means sea life is corrupted too. But if you're going to flood the earth and everything dies, what's not going to die? The aquatic life. So if you have corrupted aquatic life, that's still going to exist. And in Sumerian religion, they had these like half fish, half men, kind of like a mermaid, sages who lived underwater in these things called the Absu or the Abuzu. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it. I don't speak Sumerian. But these were like portals to contact these Nephilim, these fallen angel animal hybrids. And this was a big deal in Sumerian religion. But whenever you have these waters or these gates, this is code for a portal. So anyway, we have Gilgamesh, Nimrod. He starts messing with these things. He gets this hybrid animal man friend named Enkidu. They battle it out over a prostitute, and then they become BFF and decide that they're going to go to war against Humbaba. Now, whenever you have people that are against God, of course they're going to change the names, and they're going to try to denigrate or vilify their enemies. And Satan's enemy and all of Satan's minions' army vilify Yahweh, God. So in the story, Yahweh is actually Humbaba. So Gilgamesh, Nimrod, and Enkidu go to war against Humbaba. With the help of Satan, they kill him. And then they cut down this sacred forest and they build a gate for the city of Uruk, or Iraq, as you might know it today. And gates are, again, symbolic of portals. Now, I get a lot of questions about, like, why am I experiencing this demonic stuff in my life? I can't sleep, I'm seeing things, like all sorts of crazy stuff. Maybe there's a portal opened up in your life, in your family, in your home. Who knows? I don't know, because I'm not there with you right now. But throughout the Bible, there are supernatural things going on, and one of these supernatural things is messing with demons, messing with fallen angels, messing with hybrids. And If you're into kind of the alternative Christian research, you know that people are talking about Hollow Earth and cities of giants and all sorts of crazy stuff going on, and it all goes back to Genesis 10, because after the flood we thought things are cool, everything's dead, that's evil. Nope, because men's hearts are set only on evil. Noah and his family weren't saved because they're just so chill and cool. No, it's because they're not human hybrid Nephilim demon things. Like, they still have sin in their life, and we see that with the story of Ham and then his descendant, Nimrod, Gilgamesh. And in the Epic of Gilgamesh, Ham, the descendant, is actually renamed Unapushtum. We would see these things if the Bible were true. And actually, in front of this whole gate is a lapis lazuli stone that has this Epic of Gilgamesh on it, and it's missing a piece. Like, there's words missing, and the Bible actually has the words that are missing from that stone, because it talks about Gilgamesh killing Humbaba and how he is a something. And we see those words in Genesis 10. He is a mighty hunter in defiance of the Lord. So we see that these two stories are interconnected. Of course they would be, because they actually happened, except the Epic of Gilgamesh, they want to embellish things about how they're going to beat God. Girl, you wish. Satan wishes. So anyway, I hope you guys will check out the playlist so you can understand these stories more in depth. We got to get up to speed, because Satan does not want you to know the gospel. He wants to keep you down. So definitely check out those playlists, and I hope you will like, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.